experience, it was almost uncompetitive, wasn't it, after that? How did you sort of assess what happened after that point of the game?
How did I assess it? Yeah, we come in with, we knew they had some clear strength with centre square bounce. We've been pretty good, but they are basically the number one team in there. So if I start there, we sort of got annihilated in there, like 110 at quarter time. That ended up 4 entries to 19. I think it was 6 to 20 odd clearances. So that's a big number. And look, that hasn't been us all year. We've been very good in there. So certainly gives you territory. The irony is the 4 clearances we had, we kicked 2-2, right? So, you know, the mind wanders if you're able to get your hands on the ball. So just said it's a big responsibility in there. They prepare really well. And it was an event. Has it been a pattern for us this year? No, but today was a big, disappointing event that we all need to own, right? So that made it really difficult all night. And then the around the ground clearances, there wasn't a lot of them, but it was still like 4 entries to 11, and you know we kicked 1 goal and they kicked 7-2. So that was a real, and we've been quite solid there. So that was the first part. So we knew centre square bounce. The other thing that we knew about them, and statistically, they really bounce really well from the defensive midfield. Not so much the D50, but from defensive mid. And we've defended that really well all year. But tonight, they really put us through. They had 25 possession gains, huge amount of entries, and kicked like 4 goals 6 or something, or 6 goals 4, going at 40%. So that's just a big number. So our ability to get territory, so they had territory, but when we win it, and to go forward, they just won it on the ground or in the air and just went back through us, either quick or slow. So our numbering off and ability to hold them or close gaps and gap control, that modern coaches like to call it, was really at the low end. So we identified that going in, we didn't handle it, and it just put us through, you know. And then at the end, there was just some really disappointing where I felt like we dropped our bundle, where they just sieved us out of the front half. So we didn't play with that intensity, you know. So the things we identified, we've been pretty decent at identifying and neutralising or getting on top of. We couldn't do tonight. And then we identified Richards. We knew Bontempelli was coming back, but Richards' numbers were big. Windhager went to him. He was okay, but Bontempelli just got off the chain. And no one really took responsibility for him. You know, there's just, you know, I liked Malcolm Blight's. 1, his good luck. 2, my bad luck. 3, tighten up. He had 13 in the second and kicked 2 goals. So I would have liked some people to take responsibility in there rather than the bloke in the purple top coming out. It used to be green. So they're the major things. But I know we've got good character. It certainly doesn't sit very comfortably. I'm disappointed for our fans. I thought there was a big crowd. You know, Easter Sunday, all of that. So really, I said they're disappointed. And you're right, it was non-competitive at times. So we have to own that. And we just need to come in ready. It's a short week, quick turnaround. So as you know, one coach said, what do we want to do with that? Well, we certainly don't want to beat them up. We want the environment to be safe, but they said, like, really disappointed, and we'll have to have some conversations, and we need to get going again quick. We can't dwell on it. We'll learn from it, and we need to respond. So, look, we understand. I thought their midfield just put us through. Not only there, everywhere. Their halfbacks, everywhere, really. So, yeah, that's how I saw that.
Do you have a keep it feeling how such a, as you say, it had such a positive start to the year, but this sort of come out of nowhere, like the effort that your boys sort of put up today?
Well, it's a very tough business, right? There's a lot of good teams. So, I don't know, Adelaide, then prelim finalists last year, prelim finalists last year, prelim finalists, and then the Bulldogs who were finalists, and now we go to the Premier team next year. So, look, we know where we're at and what we're trying to build, and look, we are. I knew it'd be tough. I wanted us to be in the game, and then could we pull some levers but we just lost all of our DNA with our ball use. And they're not a high uncontested mark team, they had 125, right? So it just tells you we lost them and couldn't find them, Tonight we lick our wounds, but I said to the players, we win and lose together. I don't win, and then when you lose, you lose. No, I'm in this. It starts with me, my coaching panel, and our leaders and our young players, of which we've got a few. So we're in this together, and it happens. Do we want it to happen? No, but we will get back on the horse and we'll go.
If you knew the clearance was an issue, particularly in the centre, and they mauled you in there basically, is that poor planning coming into the night, or is that poor execution on the night that meant they still dominated you in there when you knew it was
Well, I wouldn't think at this level, Robert Harvey, who's been a senior coach, and Jack McRae, and I wouldn't think it's poor planning. We sit top 4 for centre square bench ourselves. I think I'm happy to own poor planning, but I wouldn't have thought it's the ability to adapt and just some tactical shifts, and one or two, it can be a bounce, it can be a free kick. There was a whole mix. So in the end, mauling, it was a mauling.
When you sort of get in those situations, you obviously is it almost hard to sort of rein in when you've obviously got some strong leaders out there, but is it when the momentum just sort of gets away, it's almost hard to sort of pull back when a team like the Dogs are just doing almost as they please at times?
You just got to win the ball, make the tackle, show some composure. We lost a bit of composure. It's a difficult thing, momentum in AFL footy.
And Liam Henry was subbed out at half time with just the one disposal. What was that? Obviously, you had to do something, obviously, but how did you sort of
we didn't have to do it. We chose to do it.
Yeah. But how did you see his, return?
It was very difficult, very, very difficult. He's in a 9-month rehab. Did we err in playing him when he hadn't played the week before? We just thought it was really challenging. This was really simple. We needed midfield. Grant and Jones, who had Gasser all week, had played well midfield, and I thought he'd come in and impacted in the third. So he just had to make that decision, and we just got to get him back to his best, Liam. I'm right in his corner. Very, really close relationship. He wouldn't have liked coming off. Did we give him enough time? I don't know. We needed to get a mid on. So, look, that was his first game. Maybe a half was about right for him.
So do you anticipate he'll be in the senior team again next week? I know it's early, but or might he just need, as you said, to sort of just get himself back?
Is it early? Do you think it's early?
It's pretty early.
Do you think it's an appropriate question for me to be picking the team now?
It's a question. Yeah, I just because you mentioned that he might need to, because he may have come back a bit early.
No, you've been good, but you've overreached on asking about selection. I'm not prepared to go there at this current time. Thank you.
No worries.